Your internet and wireless should always have you covered. And with Xfinity, you're covered far and wide. You'll get the best internet experience at home with Xfinity X5 and the best wireless coverage on the most reliable network with Xfinity Mobile. Plus, for a limited time, ask how to get $400 off an eligible Samsung 5G phone. To learn more, click, call, or visit a store today. Requires residential post-pay Xfinity internet. Restrictions apply. Samsung offer ends 9/15. 5G only in parts of select cities.
With the new iPhone SE for less than $100 at Metro, you rule. It's the most affordable iPhone on the #1 brand in prepaid. So whether you're studying online or FaceTiming.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, dear.
The iPhone SE has all you need. Switch to Metro and get the iPhone SE for $99.99 after rebate redemption and 6 months of service with AutoPay. Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day. Limit 1 per account/household. Requires port and ID validation. Not valid for numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ying.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
I used to think time was my enemy. My future wasn't looking good. So worried about the things I couldn't see. I couldn't see the things I could. I was aging fearfully, worrying my life away, when all along I should have been thankful for every day. Finally made a friend of time. Now you could say that I'm aging gratefully. Aging gratefully.
Broadcasting from the rolling hills of the beautiful Tennessee Valley, from the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, across this amazing nation and spanning the universe, you're listening to Aging Gratefully. I'm your host, gerontologist Holly Kelly, bringing you exceptional guests and novel information to ensure you age great, live full, and embrace each extraordinary day for the incredible gift it is. Welcome, everyone, to the Aging Gratefully Show. We broadcast every Friday on the CTR network at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Welcome to Aging Gratefully listeners around the world. So happy you're tuning into today's Power Hour of Enlightenment. And wow, what an hour we have in store for you. Thank you for joining the show. I'm so proud of you, global family, aging rebels, for taking your Aging Gratefully journey so serious and joining us every week for our messages of life inspirations and aging inspirations and positivity. You rock, you role model, and I'm grateful for each and every single one of you. And I want to remind you out there that you desired to age more gratefully. And you have done this every week together. We gather audibly, uniting as a global family, despite our differences, regardless of where we are in the world. I dare say, 170 different countries actually? Despite our differences, irrespective of our many different interests, we share this one common mission, and that is to age gratefully in the spirit of gratitude. And we acknowledge that we are all aging, each and every single one of us, from newborn infants to super centenarians. Yep, we're aging. So we might as well get good at it. In fact, we might as well embrace it. And you out there, you have so done that. So this show, I endeavored 4 years ago on a leap of faith. And here it is, awarded a top show in the world on aging for a second year in a row. And I am so proud of you out there, because it is you and the wonderful guests that have allowed this awesome achievement. You who have made the Aging Gratefully show your priority, and it is my honor to be at the helm of the Aging Gratefully mic and share the life-enhancing messages of incredible guests who help us all age gratefully together. So, was it by accident that we have evolved? that we have leaned into life more positively? Was it by happenstance? Was it by default? Or was it, in fact, by design? You see, I say often that what we focus on simply becomes. Or is it actually more commonly known as the law of attraction? Do you buy into it? Some do and some don't, but I invite you to at least experiment with it, to give it a chance, to be open to the idea that therein lies the possibility that what you focus on does in fact become. Let's keep it really, really simple. If we had a seed and it was just a seed and we didn't put it in soil, would anything become of the seed? In fact, if we just left the seed in the seed packet, it simply would remain a seed, right? But if we focus more attention on the seed, if we remove the seed from the pack, put it in some soil, it has a chance to sprout, right? But what if we fail to water it? We give it nothing beyond the soil, and now the seed faces drought. The circumstances for the seed are now dire, and it has none of the attention needed to thrive, to become. Therefore, it cannot become into the plant it could become if it were watered, fertilized, put in the sunshine, right? What if the same thing happened with our thoughts, emotions, environment, spirituality, dreams, inspirations, aspirations, goals, desires? What if we focused positive energy on them? What if our intentions in those areas became a priority? What would happen if we metaphorically watered, fertilized, and nurtured them like the seed we planted? What could become of them? I think about a home that isn't well kept, and it then becomes uninviting, and it isn't even pleasant. It's not an environment that's welcoming for those who reside in it. The people living there may not even know it because it has become their normal. They no longer know any different because they're kind of used to it. But they aren't joyful because their surroundings don't bring joy. But someone else who tends regularly to their surroundings and maintains them, loves them, they're joyful because they're surrounded by things and an environment that brings them joy. They're distilleries of joy, luminaries of joy, procurers of joy. Do you believe your environment can influence your thoughts, moods, and well-being? Well, we're going to talk about this today, including the power of positivity and how it plays a huge part in our living and aging journey. This week on Twitter, someone posted a picture of their child they so loved, and the child was beside their little canine companion, and they tagged me in the post. So I responded with the hashtag of the Japanese word ikigai, I-K-I-G-A-I. It's a noun. And it means a reason for being, a reason to get up in the morning, to enjoy the meaning of life, passion, purpose, something one lives for. Because I knew that's what the photo meant to them. And that's what life should be for all of us. Ikigai, a reason for being, a reason to get up in the morning, passion, purpose, and what we live for. So I'll make that this week's Aging Gratefully show dedication this week. And our Aging Gratefully alphabet soup for the psyche this week is what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. By Buddha. I want to welcome a conversation on this very topic today with the intention, Feng Shui, abundance, and law of attraction, magical living master expert herself. We're really excited to have her with us today. What an honor. You're going to love her, and you probably already know her. Marie Diamond is one of the world's top transformational leaders, speakers, and best-selling authors, a renowned voice on the law of attraction. She is a seer in a modern context and the only European star featured in the worldwide phenomenon The Secret. Marie emerges her profound intuitive knowledge of energy and the law of attraction with her studies of quantum physics, meditation, Feng Shui, and Dowsing to transform the success, relationships, and inspirations of individuals, organizations, and corporations. Her clients include billionaires, A-list celebrities, top-selling writers, motivational speakers, CEOs, Fortune 500 companies, government organizations, and more than 300,000 students online. Marie is a founding member of the Global Transformational Leadership Council. She is both founder and president of the Association of Transformational Leaders of Europe. To learn more about her, I invite you to visit her at www.mariediamond.com. It is with great pleasure to welcome you, Marie, to the Aging GreatFULLy show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Holly. And what a wonderful intro you just gave.
Oh, well, I'm so excited to have you on the show. I mean, so much to unpack today. I mean, your work is so inspiring. I could just sit there and watch your YouTube videos all day.
Okay, good. That's great.
So what led you into the work that you do and all of the work that you do in the area of law of attraction? What got you started in that?
Well, I actually have to go back about 40 years now. When I grew up in a small city in Belgium called Bruges, a very beautiful city. And so from childhood on, I really could see energy, and I did not know what it exactly all meant, but I could see the difference. When people were uplifted, I could see the energy field around them was different. But I also could see if houses, if the vibration of the house was very uplifted or not. So I was very focused on that already early on. And I started meditating and learning from my 7-9 years old around positive thinking, really reading a lot already at that time. What is, I know, very early on, but I did. And so when I was 15, then I had a near-death experience. I was run over by a truck. I was declared dead.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. And at the other side, I literally was told I had to go back because I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people. And I already had a spiritual mentor, a person that already was kind of guiding me on a journey to better myself and to be the best I could be. And I asked that person, why did I attract this? Because I was aware of the law of attraction. I said, I've been a role model. I've been grateful. I've been doing all the right things. And he said, you have bad feng shui, Marie. And that's how I started exploring how my environment had affected my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my conscious and subconscious mind. And I went on a journey from that time on to really explore more of this. And ultimately, after becoming a lawyer, I actually started studying Feng Shui in the East, and I became a practitioner, later on a Feng Shui master, where I started understanding that, as you said so beautiful, everything where we put our focus on will sprout, right? Will actually grow. And most people try to do that with their mindset, but they're not always aware that their environment is a mind of its own.
Wow. So can you do some basic definitions for listeners and define law of attraction, dowsing, feng shui, and give them kind of a insight into the premise of the work that you focus on?
Of course. So what I started understanding that, literally what you focus on with positive intention, that this will manifest and grow. And I started understanding the law of attraction had 3 aspects to it. And the first aspect I call it the spiritual aspect. And it's actually, when we are connecting with a higher source or an inner source, if you call that God, the universe, your soul, spirit, that when we pray and meditate and connecting with that source, that we are able to focus in a more positive sense, and that this will help us to manifest our dreams and our intentions. And I started also understanding there was another part of the law of attraction where most people in the self-help would really focus on, while the spiritual part is more like everything to do with the spirituality and religion. While, the self-help is more like, okay, what's your mindset? Is your mindset positive? How do you behave? Do you, do things with gratitude, or do you do them from a negative experience? And also, what are the actions you're taking? Do you take positive actions and actions that are meaningful, or do you take actions that are just randomly, and you have not organization in your actions? So the self-development has been since the 70s really focused on that second part. But I started understanding that both parts are only responsible for 1/3 of the results of the law of attraction, that says what you focus on is what you will receive more of. And so I understood as I was 15, knowing already these two other parts, that there was a part that I was really not focusing on at all, and that was my environment, where you sleep, where you work, where you live, that everything around you is a extension of your subconscious mind, and that the images around you, the position, the colors, the way you set up your environment, that this is all a reflection of what is living in your subconscious mind. Or you can make it conscious and direct it in such a way that your environment is going to support you. So I started understanding that that is another part of law of attraction. That is where I started looking for when I was 15. And I found out that there are ancient energy systems that the Chinese started understanding, how there was an energy flow in the environment, like as they found there was an energy flow in the body, like doing acupuncture or qigong or tai chi, that they knew they could move the energy in a positive healing way, creating harmony and positive energy. They also found out there was a system in the house, in your environment, and they call that Feng Shui, what is wind and water. And they started exploring this 4,000 years ago already, and the first writings about that are from that time, where they started really seeing there are principles in it. And I call this really the quantum physics of your environment, is that, we are connected and interrelated with everything. Everything is energy in quantum physics. Everything has a wave, a frequency. And so we are impacted by everything that's around us. And we do know that as human beings. We come to places and we're like, oh, I don't like it here. And you kind of leave quite quickly. And there are other places you're like, oh, I love hanging out here. And you keep staying there. And it's not always that it's the most beautiful thing that is there, but there's a vibe to it, right? And we will say, oh, it has a vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
like it's your place.
Yeah, it's like your place.
It's your heart-centered oasis.
Correct. And you're like, for other people, it could be like, no, this is not me, but for you, it could be like perfect place. And so that is actually how I found out about this and started studying about this. And there's, a whole art, a whole science behind it. And then also I found out that the environment has been also affected by the magnetic fields of the earth, and that in the last 2,000, 3,000 years, the Egyptians, the Druids, the shamans were also focusing on ley lines and underground waters, and they would make sure they placed the home or not at certain areas of the landscape, and that this is dowsing, that they would look for that and measure that. And so I started implementing all this, and I saw how people, their well-being, people, their aging even, was so different. Their success, their money flow, their relationships was so different if they were in an environment that was reflecting harmony, that was telling them, I'm supporting you in making your goals manifest. So this is how I explored that. And ultimately, all this information helped me from being a lawyer in Belgium to become a global transformational teacher, as you've been sharing that in my bio.
Wow. Okay. And so it's really amazing how this is something that so many people can overlook, and they don't even know what may be actually impeding and infiltrating, I guess I'd call it their Zen, and interfering with their success or their relationships or their money flow.
Correct. It's really interesting. Once I started sharing about this ancient knowledge, but in a very modern form, and relating it with how the brain waves work. A lot of people already know that in order to be creative, we need to be in an alpha state, and that most people are in beta state. Beta state means they are anxious, they are not focused, not concentrated. It's like where most people live in that space. But then there's other people, they have like this awareness and they see things so much more positive and creative, and they manifest faster. And so there is this way of changing your brain waves. And there are many tools for that, but your environment can also be beta or alpha. So beta means that you're living in a house where it's very hard, for example, to clean up, that each time when you want to create order, before you know it, it's already, totally messed up again. And it can be a home where you try to avoid going to sleep. You're kind of hanging out in front of the television, or there's always conflict, or a house that you try to even avoid living in, that you're just always outside. And then there's places where people like, oh, there's always people coming in, their friends coming always over because they love your house. There are shops and businesses where people just spontaneously are feeling attracted to, and others they try to not go in and avoid. Why is that? Because certain places are what we call beta attracting and others are alpha attracting, and we always want to go where the alpha energy is. But any house can be rearranged and refocused in such a way that the vibration goes up and that everybody loves it. And that's something I've heard for so many times, that people say, I started doing your work and like, now I love being at my home, and now I have friends coming over and money is flowing, and I have found the romance of my life. And the only thing they sometimes did was literally changing the vibration of their home. And it's because it's like redirecting the energy. And, in the movie The Secret, we talk about, making sure you focus on what you ultimately want and desire. And you can, for example, make a vision board for that. But I always say your home, your office is like a 3-dimensional vision board. And so everything around you, if you know it or not know it, if you pay attention to it or not, it gives you a constant message. So you come into a space and it is like your brain picks everything up. And it's like if you have placed something, let's say for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, the same way, you become what that is. And so if you really want change, it's sometimes hard to change your mindset. It's hard to change sometimes how you feel about things. But changing your environment is quite easy. Changing an image, repositioning your desk, hanging something else, painting it, it's quite easy. And when you change the outside, it's immediately a reflection back to the inside, and people start feeling better. And I think a lot of people have experienced that. They're like suddenly like, oh, I need to change my house, and they redecorate and they change everything because they feel like they're stuck, that house makes them feel stuck, and then they start feeling better. But if they would know there are principles behind it, there's a system behind it that ultimately will lead you to 1/3 more results of your law of attraction and success.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's so much I want to talk about. On the other side of break, I was hoping that I watched a YouTube video of yours and I found it so fascinating. So I was hoping on the other side of break, you would share with listeners the three simple elements of success that you talk about. And you kind of talk about the in the film The Secret, where you do the 33% rule.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay, great. So don't go anywhere. We're so grateful today to be with Marie Diamond. You just don't know what an honor this is, talking all things, I don't know, law of attraction, her contributions to the worldwide phenomenon, The Secret, and when thoughts become things. You can learn more about her by visiting her at www.mariediamond.com and just type in her name on YouTube and sit back and just learn, and grow. And I just want to thank you, awesome aging rebels around the world, tuning in from, I don't know, our station reaches over 170 countries. I can't mention them all, but the Netherlands, Australia, Canada, Japan, Switzerland, Germany, from sea to shining sea, and of course, our nation of broadcast. Thank you so much, awesome aging rebels around the globe. I just wish everyone safe and well-being, and it warms my heart how you embrace life with so much enthusiasm and investment. And I also want to remind you out there, I know you love our show's theme song. That's by singer, songwriter, world-renowned musician, mad ukulele skills. That is Jim Beloff, and it's his song, Aging Gratefully. You can find it in his album, Dreams I Left in Pockets. Go visit iTunes or Amazon Music and download that song to your playlist. So I am just so loving this show today. Don't go anywhere. I'm your host, gerontologist Holly Kelly, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Theo Alfero, founder and director of Wolf Connection in California and author of The Wolf Connection, What Wolf Can Teach Us About Being Human. Ian Holly's show is absolutely incredible. It's hands down one of the best interviews I've ever done. Her energy, her enthusiasm, her passion for people, for nature, for animals is heartwarming. So I'm very grateful and honored to be one of her guests.
With the new iPhone SE for less than $100 at Metro, you rule. It's the most affordable iPhone on the #1 brand in prepaid. So whether you're studying online or FaceTiming.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, dear.
The iPhone SE has all you need. Switch to Metro and get the iPhone SE for $99.99 after rebate redemption and 6 months of service with AutoPay. Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day. Limit 1 per account/household. Requires port and ID validation. Not valid for numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Restrictions apply. See store for details. With the new iPhone SE for less than $100 at Metro, you rule. It's the most affordable iPhone on the #1 brand in prepaid. So whether you're studying online or FaceTiming.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, dear.
The iPhone SE has all you need. Switch to Metro and get the iPhone SE for $99.99 after rebate redemption and 6 months of service with AutoPay. Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day. Limit 1 per account/household. Requires port and ID validation. Not valid for numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Sunrises and Sunsets. Final Affairs Forged with Flair, Finesse, and Functionality is a delightful book for every adult of any age and any stage. This multi-award-winning book, written by gerontologist Holly Kelly, is a soul-soothing journey and novel approach to completing your personal affairs and advanced care planning. Readers are calling it transformative, life-changing, and fun. Prepare lovingly, plan thoughtfully, live dynamically. Available on Amazon and most bookstores. Author autographed copies are available at sunrisesandsunsetsbook.com, where you can subscribe, register for a workshop, and more.
Your internet and wireless should always have you covered. And with Xfinity, you're covered far and wide. You'll get the best internet experience at home with Xfinity X5 and the best wireless coverage on the most reliable network with Xfinity Mobile. Plus, for a limited time, ask how to get $400 off an eligible Samsung 5G phone. To learn more, click, call, or visit a store today. Requires residential post-pay Xfinity internet. Restrictions apply. Samsung offer ends 9/15. 5G only in parts of select cities.
Everything in this shed, starting with those.
Okay, gotta fix all of these.
That'll be so easy.
This needs some love for sure.
Definitely that.
True DIYers see projects everywhere, from repainting patio furniture to repurposing an old light fixture. For all of those to-dos, trust Krylon Fusion all-in-one paint and primer spray paint. It bonds to difficult surfaces and gives you maximum rust protection with no sanding or priming. And that's that. Krylon. Today we spray.
This is Wendy Coulter of thepracticalpath.com. I want to thank Holly for having me on her show. It's a terrific show with such great information for everyone on health and wellness. And please take a look at thepracticalpath.com to find out more about medical intuitive training or the Medical Intuition for Healing workshop. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Best listeners in the world. You are. I can say that. I know it firsthand that you are. And welcome back to the show. I'm your host, gerontologist Holly Kelly, here today with our amazing guest, Marie Diamond. Do you know she has transformed lives in so many ways? And she promotes intuitive knowledge of energy and the law of attraction with her studies of quantum physics, meditation, Feng Shui, and Dowsing, the success of those she works with. I mean, she's amazing. And I know that you, my awesome Aging Rebels, are all about this. So happy to have her with us today. And before we continue the conversation, I just want to invite you to visit the platform of your choice. I mean, we are on them all. And you can find, I don't know, I've lost count, maybe 170 episodes, just hours and hours and hours of Aging GreatFULLy, soul-enhancing episodes on your favorite player: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, your Android and Apple devices, your Samsung and Amazon Fire smart TVs. Ask Amazon Alexa. We are where you are, on the go, how you want us, where you want us. And I just venture to say there's just an episode for everybody out there. And thank you so much for listening to the show today. I'm loving it. I know you are too. Please visit our guest at www.mariediamond.com. You can learn more about her life-enhancing work in so many areas, including law of attraction. She's a motivational speaker, and she has so many YouTube videos out there. 3 Simple Elements is the one I so enjoyed of success. And Marie, you talked about the film on The Secret. 33% was, I'm not going to even spoil it. I'm going to let you talk about it. It was 33, 33, and 33, and how these come together to create. I'll leave it at that.
So yes, so I share that, your thoughts, feelings, and actions are responsible for 33% of law of attraction. 33% is your spiritual connection with God within, the God that you connect with, and 33% is your environment. And of course, there are 3 simple steps that everyone can do to create success. And so the first step is always that you need to see the door. So you have to think of yourself that you're the king, the queen, the president, the empress, the powerhouse of your house, the power person of the house. And when you are sitting on the desk, when you're sitting in the living room, when you're sitting in your dining area, when you are in your bedroom, that when the door opens, that you can see the people coming in, because the flow of energy comes always through people. And so when you see people coming in, you're always opening up yourself for all the opportunities and possibilities of the world. And I know some people are like, but I love my scenery view through the window. And I always say, well, money comes in, romance comes in through the door. They don't use the window to come in, right? So always see the door. That's a very important thing. And what happens the moment you do that, as we spoke already, that your brainwave needs to go to alpha, you actually immediately go into alpha brainwaves, and you will be much more optimistic, much more creative when you see the door. I'm now speaking to you, even if I'm online, I still see the door as I'm speaking. So that's the first big step. I call that the abundance position. If you are sitting with your desk facing the wall, or if you're with your back to the door, like in your living room or sitting on your dining room table, you're actually saying, if you're facing the wall, it's like you're hitting literally the wall financially. It's like with your business, you cannot move forward. You have to have space in front of you, but you also want protection behind you. So you don't want people to come in and literally, coming from behind your back. I mean, how would you feel if everybody would come in this way? And you can say, well, I'm working online. It doesn't matter. It always gives that uncomfortable feeling when you are with your back to the door, or especially also on top of it, if you're then also facing the wall. So making sure you see the door, you have space in front of you, so that, people can talk to you, can sit across of you, and that you are also supported in the back. So it could be a high back chair, it can be a bed frame, it can be, a wall, something that just supports you, because then you are literally in an abundance position. A second step that I always suggest to people is, in order to create success, in order to create abundance and romance, all good things coming to you, you need to let go of things that do not longer serve you. So you have to go into a mode of decluttering, of letting go of things that you not longer need anymore. And I always say, like, if you could let go of like 10 to 20% of things that you have, and that can be digital, it can be emails, it can be photos, it can be things in your cabinet, in your closets, just create space, because when you create space, new ideas will come up. And I have had so many times that I was cleaning up and I found a business card of somebody. I was like, I always want to contact a person. I forgot how to contact that person. I even found once an envelope with $1,000. I forgot that it was somewhere in my closet.
A great find, right?
Great find, right? And so you always find wonderful things, but you have to ask yourself the question as you're cleaning up: is this still serving me? Is this something I'm going to use in the next year? And so as you're doing that and letting go of it and giving them to Goodwill and to people that are in need, because you don't longer need it anymore, you can give it away. You actually create a flow of positive energy. So decluttering, really major to do that. And then a third step is you need to find out your personal energy flow. And you can do that when you go to the website maridama.com. You can actually check out, there's something you can have, it's called a free energy report. So when you're there, you will be able to put in your birthday and your gender, and you will get an energy number. And your energy number will give you 4 compass directions that are very strong for you. But one of them is your success direction. So once you know your success direction, you will then use, for example, a compass, or you can go and download for free the Marie Diamond app. And the same thing is there. You can put in your birthday and you can put in your gender, and you will get a compass. A compass will appear where it actually shows a success direction. And when you hold that compass in the center of your room, if that's your living room or your bedroom or your workspace, these are the 3 major key areas to create success. Then when you hold that and you look on the compass, where is your success energy? Start checking what is there at this moment. If at this moment there is something there that is just not relating with your success, not relating with your abundance, perhaps it's a paper shredder, perhaps it is, a dead plant, perhaps it is boxes, clutter there, perhaps they're all images of people that have passed on. I've seen everything, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So when you look there, you have to understand what is in your success direction has been affecting your success 24 hours a day. Even if you're not in that room, it is through the quantum field, it still affects you. Now take away from that corner whatever you feel is not related with your success and money flow, and then start putting things in that corner or in that area that relate with that. It could be books on success, book of successful people, could be your business cards, your products and services, your logo of the company, certificates. So anything that you feel could, when you look at it, gives you a feeling of like, oh, this enhances me. So even if you do not look all the time to that direction, it will still affect you. So somewhere in your space, you're telling the universe, you're telling God, I am focused on success. So even you, when you're not focused on it consciously, subconsciously, there is a place that is always dedicated to your success and money.
Wow, I think that all of this is so important. Now, I feel like that some people feel that what you have called the alpha state, some people refer to as OCD. Like you're just ridiculously nitpicky and you're a neat freak. And I know I've been called that, but I need my environment really neat. I need it orderly. It truly, it impacts my mood. It impacts like it impacts like my well-being. And I know that for a fact. You've actually made sense of it for me. But I didn't know it was an alpha state. I didn't have definitions. I just thought that I appreciated a neat,
Yes, of
calming
course.
environment. You know what I mean?
And you don't need to become a perfectionist in that, to be honest. Everything that you improve is better, right? So I would say to people like, before you stop with working in the evening, make sure that there's some space that you organize, even if you just pile things up a little bit, so that there's space that is orderly when you come back. Before you go to bed, go into a bed that is made up. You can just do that in the morning. Very simple. It doesn't have to look perfect, but just understand that in the environment, less is more. And so when people have too much things in a cabinet or on the wall or on their coffee table or on their nightstand, I mean, that all this is information, all this is data, right? And our brain is really reacting to that, is capturing all this data. But our life is already so super busy. We're already overloaded with information just through social media already alone, that when you come home, you need to create a space that is less data oriented. So literally in the morning when you wake up, make sure that your nightstand, I have seen socks, underwear, invoices, I don't know whatever I have seen on a nightstand, but it's just, a lamp and just a beautiful crystal or a beautiful inspiring book is more than enough, because you have to understand you're not just a physical body, you have an energetic body. And the aura field, as we call that, is about an arm length all around you. So everything that's in that aura field, in that energy field, is affecting you if you're aware of it or not. And so the more clean energy there is, the more organized it is. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not a perfectionist in my home, but at least there is an openness that you can breathe in it, because Feng Shui is about a flow of wind and water. So it's about, is there space to breathe in your home? Is there space to be? Is there space to be together, with your family? And sometimes there's just not enough space to, be in harmony with each other. So simple things. And like you said, in the YouTube channel I give a lot of very amazing videos that you can practice right away. And even on the Instagram, Mary Diamond 8, we do every week Feng Shui tips, so that people just can start practical. And you will, even if you change one thing, right? Even if you would say, okay, from now on, I'm going to be able to see the door. I'm going to always position myself this way. I will start looking what is in my success direction. Small changes can have a huge impact. And I've seen people just saying, I did one thing and my life started changing in the right direction, because your home has been impacting you all this time. Your office has been impacting you nonstop. And you're like thinking, well, why is my life not moving forward? Because you're stuck literally in the same environment for many years.
And I have, these shows go so quickly, and there's still so much I want to ask you. So I'm not sure that I know what is dowsing.
Mm-hmm. So dowsing, I would say, I'm sure you have heard, grandfathers, uncles, many generations ago, they would look for dowsing for finding water underground wells, and they were,
Yes, it
yes,
works.
so,
Yes.
yeah, right, and so they
Yes.
would call it witching or dowsing or geomancy, and so they would use two sticks or two copper rods to find out where that water is. I mean,
Okay, we've tried this. We tried this on our property, and it was like magic. I mean, I couldn't actually. There was a leak, and I was honestly astounded because we found the leak.
Yes. Well, still today, petrochemical companies are still using that also for finding, oil and gas. So, I mean, it's an ancient technique that is, worldwide in many cultures. And so dowsing, and especially I call it diamond dowsing, I brought in a system to check out where are these stress zones in a house, because most houses are what I call beta vibration. So people have a hard time to clean up there. And it's possible that it's not you that is the fault, you cannot clean up, but there's so much stress in the house. And so what we're checking out is a magnetic field. We're looking at the energy, positive or negative, of a house. And so we can actually find out, is there geopathic stress zones? That means underground water, fault lines, tunnels, that can, when you sleep on it, especially when you work on it, will affect your brain in such a way that you're not concentrated, that it's harder to heal. It's harder to actually get pregnant. When you sleep on such a negative vibration, you will age faster, your immune system goes down. I mean, I get all the time very big compliments about how wonderful I age, right? And they always think I'm 10 years younger. And they say that to most of my students, that they look always much younger, because we're actually redesigning the energy of the house. And so when you are then curing, and we can cure that with a specific copper cures, and we cure the stress zones of the underground water, literally your immune system improves overnight. It is so amazing. The healing will go faster. This is not healing in itself, it just uplifts the vibration. And so, but then whatever you've been taken, whatever modality if you've taken from healing, you will actually uplift faster. And we have seen so many times that the faces of the people, they are aging much more with grace. Your energy is so much higher because you're not affected by this underground water. But also we're checking out electricity, from Wi-Fi, from cell phone towers. We can cure all this, and in diamond dowsing. And there's a beautiful YouTube video on it where I talk about that your home is a magnet for money, and literally even that improves. Businesses improve, relationship improve. People that have a hard time to get pregnant, they have beautiful results with it, because the stress is taken away and your home becomes an alpha home. And together with some basic principles of Feng Shui, your home is totally new energy. And people have, I have just on that alone, I already have another 300,000 students just on this alone. And I have seen if one person per family knows this, then they can help their family, their children, their grandchildren. And we have seen, wonderful results with that.
Yes, okay. I think I saw a picture on your website, and I semi-recognized this. And so now, is this something that people do in their home using the technique? Yes.
Yes, correct. So you learn literally in an online video program that I think it's in 9 or 10 hours. You learn actually how to do this. And there's a certain meditation technique that you need to use to make it easier, certain way to focus. And so literally after that, you can do it in your own home forever. So that means in this house, if you move, it's like it's a technique you learn forever. And so people start dowsing their friends and their family and have all amazing results. So definitely something to check out.
Mm-hmm. And so what tips would you like to give our Aging Gratefully listeners today?
Well, I think one of the things I have seen is that smiling and having a twinkle in your eyes.
Yes.
Actually, very important for aging gracefully.
And
It's
you
like,
do that. You do
yeah,
that.
I do. Even when I speak, even now, I have a big smile on my face, I have a twinkle in my
I
eyes.
agree.
This is because literally you use more muscles when you smile, right, than when you are not smiling. But it's just, emanating, radiating, the heart that you have, the gratitude that you have, saying so many times to yourself, to God, to the universe, whatever you believe in, I'm so grateful for my life. I'm so grateful even for the lessons, even if they're difficult lessons I need to learn. So gratitude and joy, emanating and radiating joy, and telling people, give them compliments. I mean, literally show your gratitude, but also tell somebody like, you're so amazing, or I like this on you, I like this on you. So just radiating that joy and that gratitude is just, I think, key for aging gracefully.
Yes. How can we be kinder? You're beautiful, by the way, and you're ageless. How can we be kinder to ourselves as we age?
Well, I think we need to let go of the past. I have seen the more people are aging, they're holding on to so much from the past, and they are judging themselves sometimes for things that have happened 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago. And I'm like, you don't live in the past, you live now, and you need to focus on how you can live a better life now and for the future. And so, of course, you need to learn from the mistakes you have done, and you have to be responsible for what you have done. But stop beating yourself up. I've seen this with so many people. They are, I look at their faces and I can already see they are beating themselves up. They're like always having such a heaviness on their shoulders because they are not kind to themselves about the mistakes they have made in the past.
What advice would you have to keep joy present, be distilleries of joy as we grow older?
Well, I think it's so important to find something in your life that you can really help others with. I mean, that's my work, that's your work, Holly. We're always focusing on a positive impact, right? And so what can you do in your local community, helping out with your church or, with a family, or, there's so many possibilities of volunteering or looking for, creating a positive impact, if that's for people or for the environment, or what can you contribute? And I believe when you contribute, your joy just doubles.
Yes. I take it that 8 is your special number.
Correct.
That's great. And so people can go to your website and get their free energy report. And that is mariediamond.com. And what else can they receive from your website?
Well, they also, they can actually, there's a new app that is launching that you will actually be able to get already. That is a Mary Diamond membership app. It's also for free, where you have a lot of access to information and knowledge. And of course, on my website, you can find out more about online programs on Feng Shui, on Dowsing, on meditation, on law of attraction, beautiful products we have, books. So my whole contribution to humanity is available there. And of course, when you are getting your energy report, you will also receive some extra videos that help you along the way to get started with your Feng Shui. And you will get, regularly updates. And we have something for everyone. And sometimes people really want some in-depth support. And we have a team of 20 people that can help you with coaching you along the way for the next steps. Or sometimes people want more personal connection with me and being mentored by me or coached by me or having consulting with me. So it's all available on the website.
Great. And do you have any parting words of wisdom for listeners before we wrap up the show today?
Yes, of course. I would say, try to start to do one little thing that I shared with you today, even if it's decluttering, even if you're thinking, well, all the rest is a little bit too far for me, try at least to declutter one thing and start for sure to do that in your bedroom where you sleep. Because if you declutter your bedroom, you will actually have much more energy when you wake up in the morning and you will age more gracefully.
I love that. And we want to know how you age gratefully.
Well, what I do for this, I would say definitely what I do every day is I wake up in the morning with meditation. I live in a Feng Shui and Taoist house. I'm super grateful for everything that is happening in my life. And I enjoy being with my family and good cooking and walking in nature and living a magical life. This is how I age gracefully.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much for the love and light and everything that you do for the world and all of the greatness that you bring to us. Just so grateful for the work that you share with the world, and such a pleasure and honor to have had you on the show today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Holly, and thank you for the work you do for the world.
Thank you so much. You've been listening to Aging Gratefully. I'm your host, gerontologist Holly Kelly. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you've enjoyed our message, I invite you to subscribe and share it with others. May you remember to never act your age and that age is just a number. And may you enjoy and embrace the coming week in the spirit of gratitude. Until we meet again, here's to living your best life now.
I used to think time was my enemy. My future wasn't looking good. So worried about the things I couldn't see. I couldn't see the things I could. I was aging fearfully, worrying my life away, when all along I should have been thankful for every day. Finally made a friend of time. Now you could say that I'm aging gratefully. Aging gratefully.
Your internet and wireless should always have you covered. And with Xfinity, you're covered far and wide. You'll get the best internet experience at home with Xfinity X5 and the best wireless coverage on the most reliable network with Xfinity Mobile. Plus, for a limited time, ask how to get $400 off an eligible Samsung 5G phone. To learn more, click, call, or visit a store today. Requires residential post-pay Xfinity Internet. Restrictions apply. Samsung offer ends 9/15. 5G only in parts of select cities.
Advancements in the medical field are giving nurses faster, more effective results than ever before. They should expect the same from their education, too. Capella University's game-changing FlexPath format allows you to set your own deadlines and leverage your experience to move faster through your program. So the faster you move, the more money you save. When you're ready, we'll be here. Visit capella.edu for a trial course at no cost to you. Capella University. Don't just learn, learn smarter.